Mi sta bene la cravatta? Sono appena tornato dalla chiesa dove ho suonato il pianoforte oggi. Allora, ciao amici e bentrovati. Come vanno le cose? Spero benissimo. Come vedete è una bella giornata di sole e sono qui pronto per registrare la prossima lezione di italiano. Allora, oggi parleremo delle preposizioni semplici in italiano. Siete pronti per imparare delle cose nuove? Benissimo. Iniziamo allora. Allora, vediamo insieme cos'è una preposizione. Prima viene dal latino praeponere o porre davanti. Quindi possiamo dire che la preposizione è quella parte invariabile del discorso che serve a collegare due parole o due frasi, cioè collegano due parole in una frase. Ad esempio, la chitarra di Giovanni. Di è la nostra preposizione in questo caso che collega due sostantivi, cioè Giovanni con la chitarra. La chitarra di Giovanni. In questo caso esprime una relazione di possesso. Il vestito di mia sorella. Allora, cosa sono le preposizioni semplici in italiano? Vediamo adesso. In italiano abbiamo di, a, da, in, con, su, per, tra, fra. Ripetiamo insieme, lentamente. Di, a, da, in, con, su, per, tra, fra. Di, a, da, in, con, su, per, tra, fra. A proposito, i bambini italiani imparano in questo ordine. Adesso spiegherò tutto in inglese. Continuiamo. So guys, this is the part where we explain everything in English. So what is a preposition? Just to give you a little background, it's that part of speech which connects a word or element to another within a sentence, and usually occurs before a pronoun or a noun. For example, I'm going to the store. I'm in the house. The car is on the street. He studied for the test. With the people. So these are prepositions, okay? To, in, on, for, with. Basically, they're connectors. They're connecting something in a sentence. Two elements, two words. Prepositions are also used to show time, direction, place, location, and spatial relationships. Okay, for example, in May, at noon, at school, across the street. Okay, so what are our simple prepositions in Italian? Well, first, we refer to them as le preposizioni semplici. Simple prepositions. So, follow me. We have the following. Di, a, da, in, con, su, per, tra, fra. Let's repeat that together, slowly. Di, a, da, in, con, su, per, tra, fra. Queste sono le preposizioni semplici in italiano. These are our simple prepositions. Let's start with di, or of, referring to possession. For example, if I say la macchina di mio fratello, I'm saying my brother's car. La macchina di, so di is our preposition. Mio fratello, my brother, is another noun. So we're connecting two nouns, la macchina and mio fratello. La macchina di mio fratello, indicating possession. Also, il vestito di mia sorella. My sister's dress. Notice how it's reversed. Okay? In Italian, we're saying the dress of my sister, or the car of my brother, or la chitarra del mio amico. La chitarra del mio amico. The guitar of my friend, or my friend's guitar. In this case, I'm saying del mio amico. Di plus il mio amico. In the case of family, like fratello, sorella, mamma, padre, you don't need to use the article. So I wouldn't say del mio fratello or della mia sorella. I just say di mio fratello, di mia sorella. So, di can also be used to refer to someone's origin. For example, if I say sono di New York or sono di Roma, I'm giving you my place of origin. I'm from New York. I'm from Rome. Sono degli Stati Uniti. I'm from the United States. That's as opposed to using the adjective, for example, sono americano, or sono italiano, or sono brasiliano. That's using the adjective, americano, italiano, brasiliano. That's different. Now, you wouldn't use di to refer to your nationality. For example, you wouldn't say sono d'Italia, or sono d'America, or sono di Brasile. No, you would say sono americano, sono italiano, or americana, or italiana, if you're a woman. We could also use di to describe the age of something or someone. For example, if I want to say something like ho deciso di vendere la macchina, ho deciso di vendere la mia macchina di 10 anni e comprare una nuova. What I'm saying is, I decided to sell my 10-year-old car and buy a new one. So, I'm saying, ho deciso di vendere la mia macchina di 10 anni. Okay? Look at the construct there. It literally looks like it says, my car of 10 years. But I'm saying, of course, I want to sell my 10-year-old car. Also, for example, if I'm referring to my 12-year-old son, I would say, mio figlio di 12 anni gioca a calcio. My son of 12 years old. No, we wouldn't say that in English. We would say my 12-year-old son, right? But in Italian, we have that particular construct, that grammatical syntax. Mio figlio di 12 anni. Moving right along to a. Preposition a, which can mean to or at in some cases. So, referring to a location, for example. Sono a casa. I'm at home. Sono a casa. If I'm going somewhere, for example. Vado a Roma. In this case, we're expressing some movement to a location. Vado a Roma. I'm going to Rome. Or, stasera andiamo al cinema. This evening, we're going to the movies, to the cinema. Andiamo al cinema. Again, a plus il cinema becomes al cinema in this case. Also, if I'm giving something to someone, okay, I might say something like, ho dato il mio cellulare a mio figlio. I'm saying I gave my cell phone to my son. Ho dato il mio cellulare a mio figlio. Or if I say to my friend, I would say al mio amico. A plus il mio amico becomes al mio amico. If I give my guitar, ho dato la mia chitarra al mio amico. Another example. Lei ha dato il libro a lui. She gave the book to him. Lei ha dato il libro a lui. Another usage could be referring to someone's age at a specific past event. For example, referring to something that happened when I was 5 years old, or at 5 years old, at the age of 5, let's say. A 5 anni, at 5 years old, ho cominciato ad imparare italiano. A 5 anni ho cominciato ad imparare l'italiano. Or for example, ho imparato a suonare il pianoforte a 10 anni. I started to learn how to play the piano at 10 years old. Ho imparato a suonare il pianoforte a 10 anni. Another usage could be referring to sometime in the near future. The month, for example. If I'm going somewhere in September, let's say, a settembre vado in Italia. In English, we would say, of course, in September, I'm going to Italy. But remember, in Italian, when you're referring to a month, in that case, you would say, a settembre vado in Italia. Or in December, a dicembre andrò in Brasile, if you're using the future tense in that case. In December, I will go to Brazil. Keep that in mind when referring to the months. Don't say in settembre, thinking that you might want to translate that from English to Italian. In settembre vado in Italia. In dicembre, such and such. No, it's a settembre or a dicembre, and then you would continue with your sentence. Okay, let's continue with preposition da. La preposizione da, which can mean from. For example, if there's some past action which is still ongoing, you would use preposition da. So, for example, ad esempio, if I say io vivo in California da 10 anni, I'm saying basically, I've been living in California for 10 years. That's how we would express ourselves in English. So in this case, we're using da 10 anni to express the fact that there's some action that is still ongoing from the past. Okay? Da 10 anni. Basically saying from 10 years ago doesn't sound too natural in English. Io vivo in California da 10 anni. Io vivo in New Jersey da 50 anni. Yeah, 50 years, believe it or not. Or, let's say I'm studying Portuguese for 10 years. Studio il portoghese da 10 anni. I've been studying Portuguese for 10 years. Keep in mind that we really don't have this particular construct in English, but in Italian we would use da to express that action that started in the past but is still ongoing. Okay? Da 10 anni. Da 30 anni. Da 40 anni suono il pianoforte. I've been playing the piano for 40 years. Okay, so see how we reverse that in English? Okay, we can also use it to describe a time frame during the day. For example, if I'm saying I work from 9 to 5, I would say lavoro dalle 9 alle 5. Okay, 9 e 5, they are plural. So we have to use dalle and alle. So da plus le 9 and then a plus le 5 becomes lavoro dalle 9 alle 5. I work from 9 to 5. Or I work from Monday through Friday. Well, Monday to Friday, right? Lavoro dal lunedì al venerdì. Monday through Friday. Another way of using da would be saying da bambino, since I was a child. Da bambino volevo sempre imparare italiano. Since I was a child. Or another example, da bambini, since we were kids, da bambini andavamo sempre al mare d'estate. Da bambini andavamo sempre al mare. Since we were kids, we always went to the beach in the summer. Let's look at another usage of da. In this case, when we're going somewhere. But in this case we need to use da plus definite article il. For example, I'm going to the veterinarian, or I'm going to the doctors. Vado dal veterinario. I'm going to the veterinarian. Vado dal dottore. I'm going to the doctors. I'm going to the doctor's office, for example, right? Vado dal mio vicino di casa. I'm going to my neighbor's house. Now, again, this is a very interesting construct in Italian, which we don't really have in English. In English, we would just say, again, I'm going to the doctor's, I'm going to my aunt's house, I'm going over by my brother's. But in this case, we're using da plus definite article. Vado dal dottore. Vado dal mio vicino di casa. Moving right along, let's look at preposition in, which can mean in English, to or by. So this is la preposizione in. Okay, referring to location, in place. Okay, stato in luogo, as they would say in Italian. Stato in luogo, in place. For example, ti aspetto in macchina. Okay, I'll wait in the car. Ti aspetto in macchina. Or movement to a place, for example, right? Moto al luogo, as they would say in Italian, right? You might come across that in some other videos. Moto al luogo, movement to a place. For example, vado in Brasile, okay? Vado in Italia. I'm going to Brazil, I'm going to Italy. I'm going to Italy. In this case, we're using preposition in to refer to the country, right? Vado in Italia. Vado negli Stati Uniti. In that case, I'm saying vado in plus gli Stati Uniti becomes negli Stati Uniti, which is really another lesson. Okay? Or another usage would be transport. By car, for example, or train or plane. Some form of transportation, right? So vado in macchina. I'm going by car, we would say in English, right? Vado in macchina. Vado in treno. Vado in aereo. In that case, we're using in to say I'm going by car, I'm going by train, or I'm going by plane. Now, a very important point I'd also like to make here is the difference between using prepositions in and a to refer to your location, or your destination. For example, when you're referring to your country, state, region, or a major island, we use preposition in. For example, if I say, vado in Brasile, I'm going to Brazil. Vado in Italia, I'm going to Italy. Abito in America, I live in America. Abito in Italia, I live in Italia. Abito in Sardegna, I live in the island of Sardinia, a major island. Provinces, for example, in Canada. We would use in that case, right? Abito in Ontario. Or vado in Campania, vado in Toscana. Those are regions of Italy. Vado in Sicilia. Okay, those are regions of Italy we use in. Okay? Abito in New Jersey. Abito in California. Okay, those are states. So we're still using in. Okay, but if we're referring to cities, we use a. Doesn't matter how small or large the city is. If I say vado a Rio domani, I'm going to Rio de Janeiro tomorrow. Vado a Roma la prossima settimana. I'm going to Rome next week. Okay? Abito a Roma. Vivo a New York City. In that case, we're using a for the city. Okay? So once again, country, state, region, major island, we use in. Any cities, towns, we use a.